going live?
We are. Here we are.
We're live already?
We're live already. What up, people?
I have short sleeves on.
Me too.
Because it's warm out in Texas. Hey, John.
It is
hey,
warm.
Lolo.
It wasn't a couple days ago, though.
No, it was not.
It was not.
You want to kick it off?
We had a crazy weather phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
How's that song go?
It's a crazy weather phenomenon.
No.
Hoop.
No. Phenomenon.
Phenomenon. It's phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon. All right, let's kick it off.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. You ready for CraZy Talk episode 12, Weather Phenomenon, which is not what we were supposed to talk about today?
Yeah, we changed it.
I had an epiphany sitting on my couch bundled up during the middle of
For 4 days of snow.
Snowmageddon, that I'd rather talk about weather phenomenon. Oh, it's housekeeping. You ready for housekeeping?
Housekeeping, you want blowjob? Or hand job? I forgot what they said now.
Just stop. Just stop. All right, so housekeeping. I'm going to talk a little bit about Snowmageddon and survivor's guilt. So DFW had...
Snowgate. Let's call it Snowgate.
Snowgate. DFW had two record-breaking events, one of which was the coldest Valentine's Day on record by 5 degrees. 5 degrees colder than it's ever been on Valentine's Day in recordable history. So, it's a very, very cold Valentine's Day. And we have survivor's guilt because we didn't lose gas or power. And
or internet,
and none of our pipes broke.
Water.
None of our pipes busted.
Nothing. We did good.
Very, very fortunate. We are in an emergency grid by the fire department, but we were very, very, very lucky. So we played hotel patrons for the...
Yeah, and I reached out. I mean, we did have a couple friends stay with us, and I did reach out to other friends and family that I know and told them we were a place for them, but...
Yeah. Luckily, no one we knew needed us that badly. Thankfully.
No one else.
No one else.
We had a couple.
Yeah, thankfully. All right. So, PSA. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. My PSA for this week is, don't be a douchebag. Don't hoard food. People live paycheck to paycheck, and you don't need 85 loaves of bread. You don't.
Yeah, you don't need it. Matter of fact, that bread's just going to go bad and stale on you. You're not going to eat that many damn sandwiches.
Spend your money on Ramblin' John's GoFundMe for his electric bill. That's money better spent than 9 gallons of milk that'll go bad.
Oh, Grim Reaper still has no water. Dang.
Yep.
Dang, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I've offered, but they've got other means. So, all right, so that's my PSA. People live paycheck to paycheck. And then I have one more. I have a second one, okay? Are you ready? I'm doubling up.
Yeah.
Feed the birds. I put squirrels. I picked this picture because we fed the birds, and then I looked out and the squirrels
were eating it.
The squirrels ate it all.
I had a big old jug of some bird seeds.
Yeah, bird food.
that we used to fill the bird feeders outside, and I just went and scattered it all over the snow for the birds. But the squirrels ate most of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, squirrels got to eat too.
Yeah. So when you feed the birds, please, don't feed them bread. That's not really good for them. You can feed them birdseed or even peas. That's better for them. You'll see a lot of robins in our area, a lot of birds that are displaced. I think one of my sisters told me they found a dead one on their doorstep.
Oh.
Yeah. If you do find a dead bird, look for a tag. They're keeping track of birds. So if you do find a dead bird with a tag, there's actually a website that you need to go to let them know where you found them. But yeah, if you can, please feed the birds. And John said he had several different birds. You had cardinals and blue jays and black-eyed juncos. We had just robins and a whole lot of robins.
We have a lot of robins.
And redbirds.
Yeah, we have cardinals that fly around here, and we do have bluebirds and blue jays.
Yeah.
Well, bluebirds, Texas bluebirds. I don't know if they're actual blue jays.
No, I don't think so. But they're a bluebird.
But they're a very pretty bluebird.
Yep. Okay, and then the other thing that we always say is if you follow us so that you can chat. So if you're listening and you want to chat along and you haven't followed us, you'll be restricted from doing that. You don't have to subscribe. You just have to follow. Mm-hmm. We'd love it if you subscribe, but if you just want to chat with us, make sure that you follow.
And again, if you have not linked your Amazon account to your Twitch account, if you do that, once a month you get a free subscription So you could subscribe to us with that without having to pay a nickel, and it does help us a little bit, not much, but a little bit. It's all good.
We do it for the lulz.
We do it for the lulz.
All right. So
but it's nice to have a little budget come in to buy the new cameras if we need to. Next
week, if my bipolar doesn't hit again, we will do Haunting Haunts on episode 13, which I think is way more fitting. So this week, weather phenomenons. You ready?
Yep.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. The first one up is the Dust Devil. I had the opportunity to see Dust Devil because I was in Arizona and our mom's backyard butts up to an Indian reservation that's pretty barren until they started planting something. Anyway, you could see a Dust Devil. I didn't know what it was, and it was really interesting. It looked like just like a mini tornado.
Especially, I was going to say, if you've never seen a tornado before and you see it and you're like, oh my God, there's a tornado.
It's a tornado in the middle of the desert. Yeah, that's not what...
Except for if it hits you, you're just going to get really pelted and a lot of stuff in your eyes.
Yeah.
But we used to get them all the time at the truck stop.
So the Dust Devil is a strong, well-formed, and relatively short-lived whirlwind. I wonder if those are kind of like... You always see the tumbleweeds in the old movies kind of like... going down the...
That's just wind blowing them down the road.
Yeah, but I always think of the tumbleweeds and the dust devils when I think of the desert. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, dust devils. And then I have a little picture here in case you're interested in how they form. So the sun heats up the ground, the air begins to rise, creating an area of pressure. The air rushes to fill the low. The circulation stretches and speeds up, and then, whoo! I think they're fun. All right. So the next one is, and you cannot find a good picture of some of these because they're just hard to photograph.
I took that picture of a UFO.
that's green flash.
That's a UFO.
It may be. I wonder if people have mistaken it for that. But this is green flash, or also known as Neptune's wink. So
I would rather call it Neptune's wink.
It occurs at sunset and sunrise and results in two optical phenomena combined: a mirage and the dispersion of light. There's actually and here's a little diagram of how that happens. There's actually a San Diego craft beer company called Green Flash.
There is. Yep. I've had their beer many times.
If you've never had any of their beer, you might check that out.
I didn't know that's where the name came from because I've never even heard of this event. So.
Oh, John's seen it on the deck of an aircraft carrier. I bet you see a lot of really cool shit on the deck of an aircraft carrier. I bet there's a couple more that I'm willing to bet that he's seen on aircraft carriers. So yeah, green flash. And that one's hard to get a photograph of, but it's really cool looking. It's really, really cool looking. Then we're going to get into things that I can't pronounce again, because every episode...
Oh, that's so good. I'm good at pronouncing. Like phenomenon.
Phenomenon. Do-do-do-do. Phenomenon. You ruined that song. I'll never be able to...
That song ruined itself.
It's phenomenon.
I know.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. All right. So this is Catatumbo, the never-ending stories of Catatumbo, or Maracaibo's lighthouse. This is in Venezuela, and I've actually heard about this before. It occurs over the mouth of the Catatumbo River, where it empties into the Lake Maracaibo. So there's where the names have come from. In Venezuela, it occurs during 140 to 160 nights of the year or more, sometimes 300 nights a year. And it's up to 10 hours a day, up to 280 times per hour, April to November. It is like just a never-ending lightning storm.
People live there?
Yes. And what's interesting is...
You just live there and see lightning all the time?
Yes. And what's interesting is they really don't do anything to prepare for it. They know it's coming, and they don't do anything to prepare for it.
Well, you know it's coming if it's 300 days a year. It's just always coming.
Right, but they don't do anything uniquely to prepare for it. All they do is their houses have tin roofs, and their floors have wooden floors. So even though the lightning at times can hit the tin roof, they still are okay because they're grounded on a wood floor.
Is it just lightning?
Yeah.
So it's not thunder, it's not rain, it's not
I read in a couple of articles that they called it like the thunderstorms of Because can you have lightning without the sound? I don't think you. I don't. That's.
Well, I don't think so, because isn't the sound what
I don't
comes
think it
from
rains,
the lightning?
Rain. I didn't talk anything about raining. It was just lightning, and then I think it said thunder. I should have looked that up. I don't think you can have lightning without thunder.
No, I think that's true. I think lightning. I think thunder is the sound that the lightning makes after the sound travels to you, right? Because it takes a while for the.
Don't get me to lie, because I remember as a kid you would count, but I don't remember which direction. Remember, you would count and it would tell you how far away the lightning was?
Yeah, I remember he did that in that movie, that horror movie. What movie was that? Like Babadook or something. He would always sit there and he'd be like, every time it was lightning, he would start going 1,000, 1,000, because he wanted the storm to end.
I didn't see that.
I don't think it was Babadook. I forgot. It's a horror movie. It's a classic.
I thought
horror
the
movie.
Babadook was the vampire movie.
He's not a vampire. He's a shade.
He's a Babadook.
He's a Babadook.
But I think it's you see the lightning and then you count, and however until you hear the thunder, right? Which travels faster, light or sound? Because that's what
travels way faster.
That's what you would see first. Then you would count till the sound, right?
Yeah, I mean you can break the sound barrier with a jet. You can't break the light barrier.
The speed of light.
Yeah, if it's Superman.
There's some superheroes that travel like the speed of light. If you count after you see the lightning, that's what it is. So you're right. So you count after you see the lightning. But these people don't have time to count because that shit is right up on them. Almost 300 days a year.
Yeah, that's crazy. I would never live there.
Yeah. I thought that was really
Especially
cool.
if it rained all the time. No way. I hate rain.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was cool. All right. So here's one of the things that you could actually see in the U.S. I know you asked me when I was getting ready. You're like, is any of this, like, in certain areas of the world? I'm like, no, they're phenomena that you can see all over the place. Some of them are very specific to areas or regions like this one, but most of them, it just takes atmospheric conditions for them to happen. So ice caves are so cool. If warmer air passes into a cave and some of the ice starts to melt, then there's a delicate balance between the factors and the air flows in between. Boom, you get an ice cave. And that is an
So is an ice cave coming out of the cave? So is there a cavern nearby?
Yeah, the air moves through the cave.
So you have a cave, and then outside the cave you have an ice cave that kind of leads into the cave?
In a lot of them, it's actually inside the cave.
Oh, it's inside the cave.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, but that's a good point. It probably does extend past.
Because I don't see any exterior cave. That's why I was wondering on that.
Yeah, that's a good point. It probably does extend past. It starts from the air moving through the actual cave. I picked a list of the 11 most famous ice caves.
Oh, so they're there all the time?
Yeah. They're very unstable. Some of them you can actually go into, but it's really, I mean, they warn you that, hey, these things are unstable. And the ones in Washington, I read that those have been melting, or there's water underneath them that has been melting. So I don't know if they're still there or if they'll be
global
jeopardized.
Warming.
Yeah. So Lola, if you want to see them, there's the big four, which the last I read there were some concerns about those in Washington State, and you want to go to Seattle. So depending
Does the Washington ones let you visit them, or are they off limits to visitors?
The last article I read, they said they were becoming really unstable. So I would, and a lot of these are like at your own risk type things.
Kind of like the gum wall, do it at your own risk. Cause if they get too much gum, it might just collapse on you.
There's also one in Canada too, so that's close by, and then also in Alaska, of course.
We should go to the one in Switzerland. You're wanting to travel anyway somewhere. Let's go to Switzerland. Let's see the ice caves.
You're the one that wants to go to Switzerland.
I know. Well, Iceland, actually. I'd rather go to Iceland.
Yeah.
All right. We'll choose where we want to go.
We will?
Yeah, we'll make a decision. We'll go to one of these ice caves.
We'll take a vote?
Well, me and you will vote.
Oh. Okay, well, because if I'm picking something on there, I'd probably rather go to Argentina.
Okay, we'll vote. I don't know how we're going to vote. It's going to be a split vote 1-1.
That's true. We'll have to have a tiebreaker.
Who will vote for whatever I say? You can be our tiebreaker. All right.
You want to look at the next one?
Yeah. I really want to go Switzerland now, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
It says if you go to Iceland, you can see the northern light. That's true. I actually had an employee that...
Oh, and 2 birds. There's 2 birds there also.
What 2 birds?
I don't know what 2 birds, but you can go there and you can see the ice cave. You can go there and see the Northern Lights, and you can go there and see two birds.
What's two birds? I don't know. Rainy, you'll have to tell us what two birds is.
I'm sure she meant two birds with one stone.
Oh,
I'm just trying to mess
two birds
with you.
One stone. Okay. Lolo, you have family everywhere in the whole world. I don't judge anything by where you have family, but yeah. One stone. Yeah, you were right. I hate it when you're right.
I was just making jokes with you. That's kind of funny.
I was falling for him.
I know you were. It was kind of funny.
Yeah. Or Canada. Maybe go to Canada.
Canada's so close that I don't feel like I'm vacationing.
It's not that close.
Well, it's connected to our land.
It's as far away as Mexico, and you feel like you're vacationing when we go to Mexico.
No, I don't. You do.
Okay, that's ridiculous. We'll move on.
Okay. I mean, like a true vacation, you have to go to the other side somewhere. You have to leave the continent.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So sundogs or a mock sun. It's called a sundog or a mock sun. It's an atmospheric optical phenomenon that consists of a bright spot to one or both sides of the sun. Two sundogs often flank the sun within a 22-degree halo. So that's that right there. If you've ever seen it, and you probably have, I've seen it, is called a sundog.
You're talking about the outer ring?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I never knew what that was called. I just kind of always thought there was a reflection off of the snow.
I always thought there was just a portal opening, like to the Matrix. And I was getting a glimpse, and I was like, oh, it is all a fake reality.
No, it's a sundog. I kind of like that name, too, or mock sun.
It's like a mock sun.
That does. What was that sci-fi movie where that came up
it's
around
a faux
them?
sun. It should be called a faux sun.
But what did they call that? That movie where it came up behind Stargate? Didn't the Stargate like come up in a circle behind them and they were?
No, Stargate was a big thing that they built that spun around and then it would open a portal.
Huh. Raina says she thought that was her stigmatism, and John's seen this one too. John, you might have a pretty good list of these. I've seen that, but only when I've been in places that it was really snowy.
See, I was thinking like sometimes I've taken pictures of something and I'll get that ring.
That's an evil spirit or a ghost spirit.
Yeah. Evil spirits tend to follow me everywhere I go. I don't know why.
Oh my word.
They haunt my dreams.
I'm going through these really quickly, by the way, because I'm always have way too many, so I pared it down, and then now I'm thinking I shouldn't have pared it down. It's a delicate balance. It's a delicate balance. Either you're...
See, I told her don't stress out about it and just make as many as she wants, and what we don't get to, we don't get to, and then we can make a separate podcast of just all the shit we didn't get to. Hey, here's a lot of... this is just an episode of shit we didn't get to. Some will be about weather, some will be about food, some will be about holidays, whatever.
Some will be about poop knives.
We got to poop knives.
All right. Lenticular clouds.
Those are pretty.
Lenticular clouds.
That's pretty. It looks like cotton candy in the sky. No,
So-
soft serve ice cream.
No, it's supposed to look like a UFO. So they're stationary clouds that form mostly in the troposphere, typically in perpendicular alignment with the wind direction, comparable in appearance to a lens or a saucer. Yeah, that's what they are. Lenticular clouds.
That does look like a painting. It don't even look real.
No, that's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like soft serve ice cream.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Or like Cool Whip.
Yeah.
Cool Whip.
And I would encourage you guys to look at some of these, like Google them afterwards, because the pictures that I chose were nice, but there are so many pictures that you can't do justice to this. I mean, they are just gorgeous, like almost.
So where can I see this?
It just happens.
So I've just never been fortunate enough?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
So it can happen anywhere in the world?
That the conditions are right.
Did you say what the conditions were?
No.
Okay.
It's just they happen in the troposphere.
I'm gonna have to look up what the conditions are. What's the troposphere?
It's the layers of the atmosphere.
But I mean, how far is that?
In the middle-ish.
Oh, okay. Well,
you have Google. You have to look up the layers of the.
Well, I'm also
atmosphere.
going to look up the conditions, because that way one day I'll be like, "How's the weather today?" Before I go to work, and I'm like, "Oh, these are perfect conditions for lenticular clouds.
You're like,
I'm going to keep my eye out for lenticular clouds today.
You're going, what's going on in the troposphere today?
Mm-hmm.
Let's check out the troposphere today. The next one I think you're going to like. It was really interesting. This was one of the ones that I found that I really enjoyed. So you have any more questions that I can't answer about lenticular clouds?
I don't.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. These are snow donuts.
Ooh,
snow
yum.
donuts.
I've made snow donuts.
Or snow rollers, also called snow rollers. So, what's interesting about snow donuts is if you have a snowball, it rolls until it gets too heavy that it can't roll anymore. But these don't have that problem because the centers are out, so they're lighter, so they continue to roll.
Are these self-made?
No. These, yes.
They're naturally made.
They're naturally made.
Okay, like a person didn't make this.
No.
And then roll it down a hill.
Mm-mm. They're cylindrical formations that are created when the wind rolls a natural snowball across the snowy terrain, but the air moves through the center and keeps the snow out of the center. They're lighter than snowballs, like I told you, so they roll much further. Don't expect to see them everywhere. Snow donuts, as conditions have to be absolutely perfect for them to form. So that's, yeah. John's never seen those on an aircraft carrier. Surprise, surprise. So, and then Lolo, Metal made the snow ice cream, and then I saw a thing on Facebook where somebody took a whole bunch of that beautiful snow and let it melt in their sink to show us how dirty it was.
It's fake
He
news.
swears that the ice cannot,
fake
the
news.
snow cannot be dirty.
Fake news.
I cannot believe.
You know how I know that? Because I grabbed an entire cup of snow that I didn't use in ice cream, and I let it sit on the counter, and it completely melted into clear water.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, it did not.
100% clear water.
Mm-mm.
Nothing wrong with it.
Mm-mm.
Fake news. Fake news. Get out of here with your fake news.
I refuse to eat that snow.
Good for you. More for me.
No.
Whatevs.
So.
Now, this photo is deceiving.
Why?
Because I don't know. I can't put that into relevance. So, is this donut like this big?
You can't see the tree?
Well, yeah, but the tree's way in the background. I can take a picture of my finger in front of the tree and make my finger look like it's 7 million feet long. Like, I'm saying, like, how big is that like the size of a donut? Or is it like the size of a Volkswagen?
They vary in size, and some of them kind of look like little snowballs more than a bigger one. But I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. You don't have to. I was just curious, like, how big is that thing? Is that thing like the size of a tire? Is it the size of a house?
I was seeing the trees in the background. I assumed that it was rather large, but I don't know the answer to that. You always ask me questions I don't know the answer to. Because you can't submit them in advance because I don't tell you anything.
You don't tell me anything.
Oh, yeah. So Raina, he got the snow from the front yard because he was convinced that it was cleaner there because the dogs couldn't get to it. Even though
I wasn't convinced it was cleaner. It was legit cleaner. It was snow. It was 6 inches of snow for 3 days across the yard with no tracks, no squirrel prints, no nothing, just snow. And I only took like the top. I scooped the top 2 layers and left the bottom 2 or 3 layers.
John, the snow did not melt clear. That's fake news.
It was clear. She's crazy. If I would have known there would be a conspiracy later about people putting snow in their bathtubs and getting black water out of it, I would have kept mine to show her. I didn't think about it because I went out there and got another scoop of snow and I set it on the counter and I was mixing my ice cream and then my ice cream finished. I didn't need it and it legit sat there and melted and looked like a cup of water when it was melted. It looked like a cup of water. Perfect.
Pictures are... No, didn't happen.
Yeah, well, I'll take pictures in 32 years when it happens again.
So, John, I'm wondering if you've seen the next one. It seems like that might have been something that you've been able to witness. Water spouts. I've always wanted to see one. A lot of people on my cruise pages post them. And I would love to be out in the middle of the ocean and see something like that. So that doesn't always happen in the middle of the ocean. It happens in water. But water inside of a water spout is formed by condensation. There are 2 major types of water spouts. Obviously, one's tornadic, right? Which it starts off as a tornado. And it becomes this. And then...
It's like a dust devil, but on the water.
It's influenced by the winds associated with severe thunderstorms. Air rises and rotates into a vertical axis. The 2 types are tornadic water spouts and fair weather water spouts, where they just start
So I wonder if a surfer is like looking at it like, oh yeah, I need to go hit that wave.
That's you're so nuts. Or it reminds me of the people that do those.
That'd be a question for
the water jetpack thing. The water jetpack thing. You know the ones that they do now. You can do the water jetpacks. Have you seen those?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of times I
want
to ride one.
That's what it looks like to me. I think Xander did one.
No, but he wanted to.
No, I think he did on their last vacation.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he did. Oh, John, I didn't pay attention to that Atlantic Ocean phenomenon more than Pacific. I don't know. There's a lot I do a lot of research, but never enough.
I try not to ask questions, but then I'm bad at it, so I ask a lot of questions, and she's always like, I didn't look up those questions.
I don't know.
That's all right. I'm curious. The thing is, I don't ask questions for no reason. I am seriously curious, so generally I go just find the answer myself later.
Well, hopefully I invoke curiosity into those that participate in this podcast so that they can...
We're not your teachers. We don't have all the answers. We're just giving you a little, and then you can go figure it out.
You can go research it further.
We're not going to tell you how to fill the test out. We're just going to tell you how to get where you need to be.
And if you write a report, we'll be happy to review it for you.
I'll grade it.
All right. So the next one is a white rainbow or a fog bow. Or a fog bow. So, and you can see it.
I like white rainbow better.
Do you?
Yeah, than fog bow.
Fog bow is kind of dumb, right?
Yeah.
I think so too. So it's formed when the sunlight meets the moisture, refracting the light in tiny water droplets suspended in air, while rainbows mostly appear after rainfall as sunlight refracts through the larger water droplets. Oh, this is kind of chill. What's going on?
Should be deemed her points for
sexy sax.
For sexy sax.
Is that Careless Whisper?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we have one of our children plays Careless Whisper, and took his, what's that thing he blows into and plays songs on? Memophone? I don't even remember, anyway, he took it on the cruise ship and was playing it on the balcony.
John, if you click that little purple bubble,
don't.
It'll give you options of things you can interact with us with.
Because you earn points for watching us, so all of you have channel points that you can spend for free on different things. And Raina found one. I was like, what just happened?
Lolo.
Oh, Lolo found one? So I was like, what just happened? Yeah, you guys can all redeem them, actually. Okay, so regular rainbows are typically after a rainfall, and the sunlight reflects through the larger water droplets. Fog bows show up when the sun shines through fog, which consists of a lot smaller water droplets, so not large enough to... Why are you laughing?
I'm still thinking about the saxophone.
Well, John, you haven't seen a fog bow. Surely you've seen a rainbow. And I've seen a double rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen the double rainbow. I love when I see a rainbow and you guys make fun of me. I'm like, it's a rainbow. You're like, shut the fuck up, Dawn. Oh, okay. Did that throw you off your game?
No, I'm back in.
Okay.
I just keep thinking of Careless Whispers now.
All right, so Blood Rain.
Oh, Slayer. I didn't wear my Slayer shirt.
I should have warned you, huh?
Yeah, if I would have known there was Blood Rain.
It's rain and blood.
I got Soulfly. I guess that's kind of close. He talks about bloody things.
Lolo, I can't take pictures of rainbows either. I try, and I even tried to take a video once, and it didn't work either. So this one is, it really does happen. The first, they don't know when it was first recorded, but in the 17th century, Homer even wrote about it in the Iliad. So it's been around a long, long time. Highly concentrated red particles of dust. Some people think also that Alexandrian algae can cause it, but it's typically it's particles of dust. And in 2001, it rained like this for like months in India. Back in the olden days, in the 17th century, they believed that it was actual blood. And then, of course, all the theories about how terrible things...
ReddMetal rain.
ReddMetal rain. And then there's all kinds of theories about what you had to do to cause this, right? Because we're always being punished in life for the things that we do, so... blood red rain. But it does look like that, and you can look up the village in India. I can't remember the name of it, and it's just kind of gross. It's just really kind of gross.
It seems like it would make a mess of everything.
It did, and it actually stained clothes and everything.
Yeah. Like buildings, sidewalks, roads.
Well, I mean, it's not the consistency of blood. It's like the rain, but
right. But I mean, just having the red, it seems like that would discolor everything.
To me, it looked like more like a rusty color of red, like more of a rusty color of red. Like if you've ever had rust, like water, something rust in water.
Yeah. And you get that real, like a burnt orange kind of color. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it looked like. I don't know why our dog is freaking out. I don't know. So this next one is like one of my favorites. I have two that are really awesome that I knew about before I started researching the podcast that I always thought were really awesome and interesting. And this is one of them. And then the other
Northern Lights.
The next two, the Northern Lights are not on this podcast because everybody knows about them.
I know, but they're cool, and I want to see them one day.
I like to tell you about shit you might not know about, so Northern Lights are not on this podcast. There's a few tornadoes aren't on this podcast, even though they're a weather phenomenon. Hurricanes aren't on the podcast.
Tsunamis?
Tsunami is not on the podcast. So the
Godzilla? Godzilla.
There goes Tokyo. The next two are my two favorites that I knew about before I started the podcast that I thought would be interesting to talk about. So one of them is star jelly. It's a gelatinous substance that's sometimes found on the grass or branches of trees. It's gooey.
Yeah, I want to go to Iceland.
That's why you should go. So you can see the Northern Lights, yeah. One of my employees was supposed to go see the Northern Lights on vacation.
Are they seasonal? Or do they just happen randomly whenever?
No,
So we'll have to find out when's the best time for Northern Lights if we ever decide to go?
Yeah, my employee did that and booked a whole trip, and then the floods in Houston kept them from going, and then they weren't able to see it.
But aren't the Northern Lights in Norway also?
They're in several...
I'd rather go to Norway.
They're in several places. I can't remember.
I want to visit Norway so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember where she was headed, but there's a large swatch of area that you can see them in.
Norway would be a vacation.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So star jelly.
Star jelly. Let's get back. Okay, focus.
A gelatinous substance that's sometimes found on grass or branches. It's gooey. According to folklore, it's deposited on the earth during meteor showers, but that's never been proven. Star jelly is described as translucent, grayish, white gelatin that tends to evaporate shortly after it's fallen. So a lot of people don't see it because if they do, it evaporates quickly.
Did you say where it came from or how we get it yet?
They don't know.
Oh, I know.
They don't know.
Aliens.
It probably tastes like chicken.
No, it's aliens. It's definitely aliens. How has no one said that?
So they've said that there's a lot of conspiracy theories. Aliens, one of them. Some people think that it is a type of algae. Some people think that it's female.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Some people think it's a female amphibian reproduction, part of female amphibian reproduction. It has been tested. It has absolutely no DNA. Not plant, not animal, nothing. No DNA whatsoever.
No known DNA.
Yeah?
No known DNA. Everything has DNA. So, alien body snatchers. That's what it is. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I guarantee you that shit.
Could be. Our dog is not having a good time. Now he just
keeps whining.
He's crying. All right. So this is one that I always thought was weird. And especially since they no one can figure this shit out.
So no one's figured out anything about this thing, but this is something you already knew about.
Yeah, because it's a thing.
I've never heard of this before. But I have seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Is there star jelly in it?
No, but shit like this happens, and it makes plants grow, and then the people pick the plants, and they bring the plants home because they're these pretty unique plants no one's ever seen before.
Stuff like this?
Yeah, well, shit in general, like this idea happens.
Well, what does it look like? Does it look the same?
No, they fertilize the ground, and then these flowers grow. And then people pick the flowers and bring them home, and then the flowers take over a person's body. And then they become the person.
So it literally has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, whatever.
Just making sure I'm on the same page with you.
I'm just saying, that shit's going to fertilize the ground and it's going to grow some shit that's Invasion of the Body Snatchers shit.
It's not what's ever happened after it just
You don't know if that's happened or not.
You know what it looks like? Have you ever gotten any of that stuff to feed your roses with if you buy roses or whatever, and they give you that food palette packet thing to make, and it makes like a weird jelly?
I thought it looked like, you know how you buy just those non-flavored gelatin packs? And like if you turn that in, yeah, you've used it before. It's just gelatin. It's non-flavored, and you add it to stuff to make it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it would do if you just mixed it in water.
No,
That's
this
what
is
it would
like
turn
more gooey.
Yeah, I don't know. It
looks like, okay,
like Vaseline, kind of.
For those of you who've had kids, that was what it looks like if their diaper gets wet. The inside.
Oh yeah, the interior of a diaper.
The old
Ooh,
school.
I never thought about that.
The old school diapers. Remember, I think the new stuff is better.
Oh, they don't do that anymore?
I don't know. I haven't had a kid in 16 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we got a kid.
Xander was not in diapers when we met. So
yeah, Xander's about to be 17 years old. So.
Yeah, so I mean, it's
been a long time since I've had a baby.
20 years since I've changed a diaper. Well,
and I got them kids using like toilets by 8 months because I don't like changing diapers. So.
But that's the old school diapers. Remember, it would get all jelly and wet. Okay, the next one is like the coolest thing to me ever. I saw it on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries once, and now I'm like,
wait, and this was one of the mysteries?
Yeah.
I thought Unsolved Mysteries was always crimes.
No, not always.
It's phenomenal stuff too?
Yeah, like the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was always crimes.
Back in the olden days, now it's more like crimes. Like the new version, which I isn't all that great. I
don't know. I never watched it.
I waited a really long time for it, and then I got really disappointed. But anyway, ball lightning.
Ooh.
Ball lightning.
So, like, shuriken.
Fireball, not fireball. It's estimated that 10% of the U.S. population has actually witnessed a free-floating red, orange, or yellow spear of light.
That's a spirit.
It's said to descend from the sky.
Like a spirit.
Or several meters above ground.
Is this a real photo of one?
There's only one, like, time that it's ever actually been caught. So I'm
like, how do you have your camera on the ready when ball lightning just happens?
Just recently, in the past couple of years or few years, scientists have caught a video of it, which I couldn't find because I don't know how to play videos on our thing. Remember, I was going to learn.
Oh yeah.
So it says, it happens immediately after the strike of a normal bolt of lightning. After forming, it can repeatedly move erratically, skip across the ground, and burn through any surface it touches. That's
a poltergeist.
Most reports state that it only lasts for a couple of seconds before it disappears. A group of Chinese scientists captured the phenomenon on camera for the first time ever in 2012. So you can't catch it because there's no way to be ready for it.
Right, and how do you know where it's going to happen? Is there like a spot it happens? No, it happens anywhere in the world, right?
Well, after like an actual lightning strike. So
like, there's going to be lightning in this area. Let's go set up 300 cameras. Okay, we got nothing. Let's try again at the next lightning place. For 17 years until we finally catch this thing on camera.
So, Ramblin' John, you haven't seen star jelly or ball lightning? You're starting to let me down. All right. Let's see. This is my cool. I would love to see this. This looks so freaking cool. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Raina. Chinese scientist. Now I'm never going to be able to say that.
Chinese scientist. Chinese scientist.
Okay. Look at this. Mother of a pearl clouds.
Very pretty. Why have I never seen this in my life?
Casting an iridescent pastel hue across the sky. Rare polar stratospheric clouds. So you've got the troposphere and the stratosphere, and I don't know which is which. I don't know.
The stratosphere is the lower one, I think.
Maybe. Also known as nacreous clouds because they're mother of a pearl color. One of the most beautiful, because of their mother of pearl color, one of the most beautiful of all cloud formations. But they are also the most destructive to our ozone layer.
Oh, no shit. Yeah, but what can you do to prevent that? Nothing.
It's sure pretty.
Yeah. Pretty shit fucking kills you.
I don't know where he gets this stuff.
No, for real. If it's pretty, it fucking hurts. I don't know why. Pretty shit hurts.
That sounds like an emo song. There's some emo song out there like it
pretty
sounded
shit
like
hurts.
Love Hurts.
Pretty shit hurts. I don't know why.
To me, I would
like the most beautiful flowers are always poisonous. You know.
I feel like I've seen this a lot, but I'm partially colorblind. Then we'll never know, John.
So, is there a certain region of the world where these show up, or yeah? So this ain't like more prominent in Norway or something.
But what I was thinking is,
I'm just trying to get some more Norway points.
If I had seen that, I think I might have thought that it was a beautiful sunset.
Yeah, that's very true.
I might have been like, that kind of looks like a pretty sunset.
Except for the sunset would be down here where it's black, and instead it's all up here in the sky.
Yeah,
but
yeah, but I think that's really cool looking.
Yeah, it's very pretty. I've never heard of that before.
Okay, I'm trying to slow down just a little bit so I can catch up a minute. Okay, sorry guys. So the next one that I have is a fire rainbow.
Ooh, I've never heard of any of these things, and I want to see them all now.
Or a circumhorizontal arc.
Nah, fire rainbow. Fuck that other word. Fuck that other word.
They mostly occur during the summer in between particular latitudes when the sun is very high in the sky. Sunlight entering flat hexagon-shaped ice crystals then split into individual colors of the prism. Conditions required to form a fire rainbow are very precise. The sun has to be at an elevation of 58 degrees or greater. There must be high-altitude cirrus clouds with plate-shaped ice crystals, and the sunlight has to enter the ice crystals at a specific angle. This is why your circumhorizontal arc is such a rare phenomenon.
And you know what's cool about that? It's called a fire rainbow, which is fucking awesome by itself.
Mm-hmm.
But it actually looks kind of like that one anyways looks like a dragon, like opening its mouth.
Again, I really encourage that you guys Google some of the ones that you think are cool, because there's pictures that look very different. Like, this was the one I liked, but there's different versions of these that look a little bit different.
Don't like pretty frogs.
What? Don't lick pretty...
Same as pretty frogs. Don't lick pretty frogs. But that's true. All the poison dart frogs are beautiful frogs. Have you seen them before?
Don't lick space jelly.
But have you seen poison dart frogs?
Yeah, those are bad.
But they're beautiful.
They are. They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous.
But they're poisonous.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know they're not poisonous to the touch.
They're only poisonous to the lick?
If you consume them.
Like, eat them or lick them?
I don't know if you can lick them or not. I don't think so. I think they're fine if you lick them. I've never tried to lick one. But, I mean, you can own them and pick them up, and you're not going to...
Good to know. Or to the bite. Good to know. You've never tried to lick one.
Well, they're bright because predators can see them, and they can recognize them and know, oh, that thing's bad, and they leave them alone.
Yeah, Lola wants to know, why would you lick one? I
don't know. Lick a frog, get good luck or something.
Did you ever hear that, like, you could get an acid trip if you licked a frog? You could get like a trip on acid.
I've heard that.
Have you heard that? I don't know what kind of frog. With my luck, I'd get warts on my tongue or something because I'd lick the wrong freaking frog. It's the same thing with mushrooms.
But you know the frogs giving you warts is a myth, right? It's an old wives' tale.
Well, I didn't address that. Maybe I'll have to look that up.
You can get
Should I miss podcast?
Yeah.
But you also, like the mushrooms too. I don't want to get the wrong one. It's like you get high, you get sick, you die. You can't get the mushrooms wrong.
You make a good pizza.
Yeah, but the things that happen.
So you make a good ravioli, you know.
But the things that happen,
mushrooms can be good also.
The things that happen that trip me out are like, there's berries and mushrooms that look exactly like the non-poisonous ones that are poison.
Yeah.
The guy that was that did Into the Wild, he actually died because he mistook a berry that was non-poisonous.
That's the scary thing about, like, if you actually did do Tom Hanks and you got stranded on an island somewhere and you're starving, you're probably going to eat whatever substance you can find because you don't want to die.
Yeah.
But you might eat something that kills you anyways. But what happens if you don't eat it? You're going to die anyways because you're going to starve to death. So that's why it's best if you can hunt. You can always eat flesh, right? Like, you can kill snakes, you can kill birds, you can kill whatever, bugs. Like,
as long as it's not rotten flesh, yeah.
You can always kill something and eat the flesh. That's always going to be substance.
Or like the girl that loved Tom Gordon, you can live off of fiddle sticks.
Yeah.
Fiddle sticks.
Yeah.
The furs, the ones that are like the cattails, the fiddle sticks.
I guess.
Isn't that what she lived on?
I think so.
Yeah. Stephen
I don't
King.
know. She wasn't lost that long, was she?
No, and she was lost like right where there was help too, which is
Yeah.
crazy because she's like eating crazy shit, but she's lost like literally right there in town because she was listening. If y'all haven't read it, there's tons of books about people lost in the woods. So Into the Wild is really a sad story. But The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, which is fiction, is a Stephen King book.
It's a Stephen King book, and it's not a horror book. Like, I know most of Stephen King's are suspense and horror in this night. It's not. And it's actually one of my favorite Stephen King books.
Yeah, about a girl that gets lost and all she has is like the radio, and she would was remembering.
Well, her favorite baseball player
games.
was Tom Gordon. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a good book.
You ready?
Uh-huh.
Hakuna Matata means no worries. There's how a fire rainbow happens for those of you who like to nerd out to things like I do. But you can look that up later. I kind of read a description, but there's how your fire rainbow happens. Okay. So, oops. Sorry, guys. And fish rain.
Fish rain. That seems something that's
which is
biblical.
almost as good as the rain of blood, right?
That seems like a biblical thing when fish starts raining.
Yeah, they just rain from the sky. No, that's like locust.
Jesus is feeding us.
This wasn't one of the plagues. Locusts and fish rain and blood. Rain
No, I know
blood.
this would not be a plague. This would be Jesus is feeding us.
Yeah, so it's really not that complicated. It's when swirling whirlwinds over a relatively shallow water creates a water spout, which we learned about earlier, and carries shit and drops.
Yeah, so you get the water spout in the ocean, and then that comes to land and drops everything onto the land.
And they're not always dead.
Well, of course not. They're going to die shortly.
Yeah.
So what do? Do you go out there with a shovel and just start taking this to the fish market?
What they're not. They may not all be fish you want to eat.
Every fish is edible.
Is that true, or did you just make that up?
I just made it up, but I'm pretty sure it's probably true.
I don't know that that's true.
Yeah, I don't see why fish flesh would not be edible.
I have a feeling that's not true.
I bet it is.
Fake news. Y'all don't listen to anything said on our show if you don't fact check it yourself. We are not responsible for illness.
Disclaimer: not responsible for you getting sick from
illness or death. So
from eating rotten fish off the side of the road.
But haven't they didn't we? This is reminds me of the one that you told about the freaking eagles that carry goats off of mountains and just drop them.
Eagles.
I said eagles.
Oh, it sounded like you said eels.
Eagles.
Like an eel.
Eagles.
Yeah, there's eagles. I forgot the name of them now, but there's a certain eagle that this has nothing to do with weather, but she brought it up. There's eagles that they prey on goats, which are way too big for them to eat. So they go down and they hook the goats with their talons, and they pick them up, and then they drop them off the side of the mountain, and the goat falls to their death, and then they go down and pick the goat apart to feed on it and to bring back to their babies and stuff.
They find goats in power lines and stuff. I wonder if that's why.
I don't know. Goats are fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Like, they climb up in trees and they climb all over the fucking place, but yeah, goats are fucking nuts.
Raina said that she thinks swordfish has to be prepared. I know puffer fish you can't just eat.
Yeah, but that's not the flesh.
What do you mean?
There's a gland in the puffer fish that if you accidentally cut it, it will poison everything. That's why you have to have a certain license in Japan in order to prepare puffer fish, because there's a gland that if you were to cut it, it will fucking contaminate everything.
I think I say eagle, like eel. Eel. I don't know.
It sounded like you said eel, but
they heard it
eagle.
Too. No, they heard it too.
Eagle.
It wasn't just you.
Fly like an eagle, like that.
Eel, go to the sea.
Not eagle. You don't fly like an eagle.
Oh, I am confident that I was stuck in one of these one time.
What is that?
This is a derecho or derecho. I say derecho, but derecho. It's not even Mexican. I don't know why I'm trying, because there's a word in Spanish that sounds like that, but I think it's derecho. These are actually more catastrophic than a tornado. So
I've never even heard of this word.
It's a widespread, long-lived, straight-line windstorm that's associated with a fast-moving group of severe thunderstorms known as a meoscale connective system. And I don't even know how to say, and potentially rivaling hurricane and tornadic forces. So these can cause more damage than even a tornado. I've literally been face-to-face with one before, driving down the road.
With this thing?
Yeah.
What? I don't even know what I'm looking at. It looks like a big... ominous cloud from outer space.
So in order to qualify as one, it has to be greater than 58 miles an hour winds. The damaged swath has to extend 245 miles and be 60 miles wide at least. And it can cause more damage than a tornado. These are scary.
John says they're pronounced Derchitos.
Derchito? I think he's fucking with us.
Are you fucking with us? Or is that really how you pronounce them?
No, I looked it up and it said ye, like Y-E-H, like yeah. But he's messing with us. It's not Derchitos. There's no way.
Derchitos.
He's laughing at us right now. I wonder if they drive in a sandstorm. Oh, sandstorms were another big, because if you ever look like at the Great Dust Bowl or any of that, I didn't cover any of that, Mother, but I didn't even think about that. But dust bowls were a huge thing. But yeah. Yeah, it's like an outflow boundary for a supercell. It's huge. And I didn't put supercell on here, but that is one too. There's a lot to be said about those. Things are hugely dangerous.
So what am I looking at? I mean, is this...
I just told you. It's like a 240 mile long by 60 mile wide with over 60 mile per hour winds. It's like
and all of that is happening inside of underneath that. I'm looking at this image.
And it's multiple thunderstorms at once pushing. Like, it's several thunderstorms.
I've never seen or heard of this before. That's scary shit.
Brandon and I were stuck in one. I'm confident of it. And
fuck that.
It was scary. It was the most scary thing I've ever seen.
Where is this happen at? What parts of the world?
It just happens. When atmospheric conditions collide, it just happens.
Man,
ours was in. We were out off a 287. I thought it was a tornado, but later I knew that this was what it was.
I ain't trying to fuck with no Derchito. Fuck. Nope.
Yeah, they're common in these parts. Yeah.
How common? I've never seen this before.
You don't want to see one.
And that's scary.
You don't want to see one. You need to be happy that you haven't. This'll fuck your shit up.
Man, for reals. Get out of here with your Derchitos.
Okay. Yeah, Tornado Alley stuff, it really is. So, hail glaciers. This is actually a picture of Guadalajara, Mexico, which is where our home base for my company is right outside of Guadalajara. This is downtown. They were hit a couple of years ago with a hail glacier. It's mountains of hail. They're very, very, very rare, and they can stay around for months. There can have cliffs and tunnels, and they can have floodwater running through them. But they can stay around. Basically, it's just a whole lot of hail at the same time as a flood, and then it builds up like a glacier.
See, I was thinking...
And they can move, too.
By looking at the image, and I can't tell it that well, but I was thinking maybe it was like a bunch of hail building up somewhere.
It is.
And then it like avalanches hail.
It is. Well, you can see here at the top, the hail glacier is better right up in here. But there's water. It happened... There was hailing a lot and flooding. Oh, my iPad is like glitchy. Sorry, guys. But it was hailing a lot, and then the water started moving, and then it created the glaciers. So they were big. You can't zoom anymore.
That's all the zoom?
Yeah.
Zoom, zoom, zoom with the boom, boom.
And this is very rare, and it just recently happened in Guadalajara, like a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken. But you should look up some other pictures. There are other areas where you can see men standing, and the glaciers are even taller than the men. And they stay for a long time, because, that's that concentrated... ice just keeping itself cold, and then they've got the water. Okay, so I'm going to try to get out of that properly. So hail glaciers.
Hail glaciers.
All hail glaciers. Okay, got a few more, like 3 more.
All right.
Okay, so mammatus clouds. It's a cellular pattern of pouches hanging underneath the base of a cloud, typically a cumulus
looks like
rain
this
cloud
guy has
or
a
rain cloud. A rain cloud. I can't. Although they may be attached to other classes of clouds, of parent clouds, it's most popular. It's Latin for mama, meaning udder or breast. So that's where that came from.
Booby Clouds.
Booby Clouds.
That's a better name. It looks like, which boobies is not what I was thinking. It looks like a bunch of boils that need to be popped and. This is gross. That's not a pretty cloud. That's a gross looking cloud.
So John's seen those. So those are pretty
Oh,
cool.
you've seen them here, like locally, like in Tejas?
Texas, John? We're patiently waiting for your answer, sir.
That's okay. You also have to remember when we ask, he doesn't even hear the question for like 11 or 15 seconds.
Yeah, we're on it. Yeah, so he said yeah. Okay. So the next one that I have is something everybody's heard of. St. Elmo's Fire, also known as a corona discharge.
Also known as a show on Fox or CBS or NBC or
Is it? I know it was a movie. Is it?
I thought it was a television
about a hospital, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was St. Elmo's.
The St. Elmo's Fire,
No, that's the movie. I think the show is just called St. Elmo's.
I thought it was called St. Elmo's Fire. Someone verify this for us.
I think the movie's St. Elmo's Fire, and the show is St. Elmo's. Because
I don't know. I've never heard of... I didn't know where the name St. Elmo's Fire came from. I just remember the show / movie. I didn't know it was a weather phenomenon.
So it's persistent blue...
Phenomenon.
Persistent blue glow that occasionally appears near pointy objects during storms. The name is something of a misnomer, as the electric phenomenon has more in common with lightning or the northern lights than it does with an actual flame. It is not hot or dangerous. It does not shock you, and pilots see it. It'll often come off the tips of the planes, and in fact, you can't tell by this picture, but if you look to the far right, that is a mechanical board of a plane. This is a pilot seeing it through his window. What do you call it? Not a windshield.
The window?
No, it's the
cockpit window.
Yeah, the cockpit window of a plane. And it happens around So it happens a lot around like lightning rods, church steeples. I read one account where a guy said that he was swinging an axe, and it actually St. Elmo's Fire came about around his axe.
So does lightning or something have to hit it first? No, it just happens, huh?
No.
Huh.
Cockpit, yeah. All right.
He said cock.
I have one more.
Just one?
Yeah, just one.
And you cut it short?
I did, because I've been going over for so many episodes. I wanted to really try to cut it short.
We've gone 56 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these are called fall streak holes. If you can see that.
That looks cool.
Yeah, it does. And I wanted to pick one where you could see the particles leaving.
Oh, you can see the UFO behind it.
So some of them it's just a hole, but I wanted to pick this one because you could actually see what was happening in this one. A fall streak hole is a large gap, usually circular or elliptical, that can appear in a cirrocumulus or altocumulus clouds. Such holes are formed when the water temperature in the cloud is below freezing, but the water is in a super cooled state. It hasn't frozen, so it's basically leaving. So that's it falling.
So there's like a cloud, like a wall of clouds.
And it's falling.
And shit's happening in the middle, making like density, and it's making it fall.
Yeah.
And you get a hole in the sky.
And you have a
place for the aliens to enter.
The fall streak hole. You have a fall streak hole.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty damn cool.
Mm-hmm.
He said it can happen because a plane flies through them.
The St. Elmo's Fire or the fall streak hole?
The fall streak hole.
I mean, I guess that could happen. There's no reason why it couldn't.
Yeah, I guess anything that could break it or cause the reaction, right?
So a few other weather phenomenons. If you get bored, you can look up our gustnados. Those are pretty interesting, along with microbursts, which I think Rambling John mentioned earlier, and inversion clouds. Inversion clouds are when you feel like you're walking. It kind of looks like fog, but it's not. It's actually an inversion cloud, where it's just kind of the fog is at ground level. It's a cloud at ground level. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Well, I know what you're talking about. I don't think I've seen it in person.
Well, you see it in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
It looks like kind of like a dense fog's rolling in, but it's actually an inversion cloud. It's not a fog.
How about, you didn't talk about that weird weather phenomenon where you get all the colors, the purplish pink colors that come all around your house, and then they take into your body, and then they possess your body.
That's a movie you watched last week. That's a movie. That was a.
But it was a weather phenomenon.
What was that called? Who's that author?
It was who was it?
I don't know. It had Nicolas Cage. It had Cheech and Chong. It
had Tommy Chong.
It had Tommy Chong.
It was no, that doesn't do anything. You can see that.
I don't know what it was called, but I don't. It was a fake phenomenon.
It wasn't Cage.
It was like an alien. It wasn't even. It was an alien.
I recommend watching the movie though. It was really good.
It was, and they got like a purple. Everything that came was purple, right? It was.
According to them, it was a color they couldn't.
No, it
that they couldn't describe.
It wasn't.
It was called Color Out of Space. I watched it on Shudder. I don't know if you can watch it anywhere else, but it was called Color Out of Space. It was a Nicolas Cage movie. Right, but
who wrote it though? Who wrote it?
Oh, it was an H.P. Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft.
It was a short story by H.P. Lovecraft that they've turned into this movie.
I thought it was really weird.
It was called Color Out of Space. If you have Shudder, because I'm a horror fan, so I have Shudder. If you have Shudder, I know it's on Shudder. I don't know if it's anywhere else. It might be on Netflix. But it's called Color Out of Space. It's a 2020 movie, so it's one of those that were kind of made during the pandemic or released during the pandemic, so it was like a straight to streaming kind of thing.
But it is not an actual weather phenomenon. It's a fictional.
It was a fictional weather phenomenon, but it's actually a really good movie. And it does have Tommy Chong in it, and it does have Nick Cage in it.
So, I don't remember who else.
Yeah, those are the two main people, but it was good.
Yep. All right, so next week we'll do episode 13 of CraZy Talk at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, and we're going to talk, unless I change my mind, about haunted haunts.
Well, she does change her mind sometimes, but not often.
It just depends. If I find something that just sounds like it'll be more interesting, then I tend to change my mind. Just because it's more fun. Like, I spend a lot of time preparing, and if the topic isn't that fun for me, or if I come across something that seems like it would be more fun, I like to switch to that because I'm the one that's going to spend hours researching it.
So it might be something that's interesting to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, Mother, it was this week, but I changed it because I started doing it, and then I got on a track.
And then we had the bad weather.
And I started looking up like crazy weather stuff, and then I thought that was interesting, and I thought, well, I'll just do that instead. So I'm planning on doing haunted haunts next week, unless something more fun comes up.
I haven't even been to work in like a week.
I do have commitment issues.
But I do have to go to work tomorrow. But I haven't been to work in like a week.
Yeah.
But I have to get up and go tomorrow.
All right.
So that's going to happen. What else?
That's everything. That's all I got.
If you haven't followed, please follow. That way you can get notified when we come live.
And you can chat with us.
Every Sunday we do this, and then at least 2 days a week I do my game streaming. And again, if you can link your Prime account to your Twitch account, then you can subscribe for free once a month to us. So. And
Ramblin' John, if you have any suggestions for what I can add to the haunted haunts, please. Feel free to send them to me. That would be really cool. If anybody has any ideas, great ideas for podcasts, or if you want to...
I have something better for you where you can be interactive.
I'm still talking.
Okay, go ahead and finish your thought.
If you would like to be a guest on our podcast and present a topic, that is always welcome as well. Just reach out to us. We love that. I like taking a break. But yeah, if you can think of anything that has to do with haunted haunts, just please send them to me. What's our email? ReddMetal@gmail.
No, it needs changed. But right now, I'll type it in the chat.
Why do I need it? Change it.
Because it was the first one I set up.
No, I have a ReddMetal one. It's
she has one.
It's ReddMetal Games, plural, @gmail.com. So ReddMetalGames, ReddMetal Games.
All one word.
All one word @gmail.com.
Okay, there you go. And
then I'll put it in the chat while you talk.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, if you're on Twitch and after we're done, if you click on the About section, I've actually added a cool little widget there that lets you communicate with us online and offline. You can add suggestions shows you might like to see in the future, topics you'd like to see covered, stuff like that. Just click it, and you just type in there, and we see it.
How do you access it?
I just said you go to our Twitch account, and you click on the About section.
Okay.
And it's in the About section, and it'll just, it's a little widget that's there, and you can type whatever you want, and we'll see it. And everyone else will see it too, so, but it's a suggestion box.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Sounds awesome. And then, so we'll be back next week.
Yep. Hopefully I'll be on this week, also in between, but for sure our show will be back on Sunday.
All right.
All right.
Stay warm.
Adios.